questions 1 through 10 on the 2017 Grade 12 AMC 12B. Kymbrea's comic book collection currently has 30 comic books in it, and she is adding to her collection at a rate of 2 comic books per month. LaShawn's collection currently has 10 comic books in it, and he is adding to his collection at a rate of 6 comic books per month. After how many months will LaShawn's collection have twice as many comic books as Kymbrea's? Don't miss that word. So we have a situation of 30 plus 2m, where m represents the number of months, and we want it to be equal. Well, not quite equal. Let's just talk about LaShawn first. His is 10 plus 6m. Now, we want LaShawn's collection to have twice as many, so it would be 2 over here. And that's a very important part of the question, that twice. All right, so let's just do this algebra here. 4m, 10 plus 6m. So that is going to be 50 is 2m, and therefore m is 25. So 25 months meets the criteria of the question, number 1, therefore the answer is E. Real numbers x, y, and z satisfy these inequalities. Which of the following numbers is necessarily positive? All right, well, they all have y in them. I quickly noticed that. So I guess I have to concentrate on the y. So y is between 0 and -1. Okay, well, let's see here. This one I will put right below 1 and 2. And if I add them, I get 0 is less than y plus z is less than 2. Well, y plus z is greater than 0, so it's always positive. And therefore, the answer is E for number 2. Suppose that x and y are non-zero real numbers such that 3x plus y over x minus 3y is -2. What is the value of x plus 3y over 3x minus y? Okay, let's work with this one here. 3x plus y is equal to minus 2x plus 6y. And therefore 5x is equal to 5y. X is equal to y. Substitute that into here. And we get x plus 3x, because x and y are equal. 3x minus x. So we got 4x over 2x. And the x's cancel. 4 over 2 is 2. So number 3, the answer is D. Samia set off on her bicycle to visit her friend, traveling at an average speed of 17 kilometers per hour. When she had gone half the distance to her friend's house, a tire went flat, and she walked the rest of the way at 5 kilometers per hour. In all, it took her 44 minutes to reach her friend's house. In kilometers rounded to the nearest tenth, how far did Samia walk? All right, let's make a little diagram here. So she's going halfway, right? Halfway before she changes the speed. So it's 17 kilometers per hour, 5 kilometers per hour, x and x. Because it's halfway. So if this is x, then that's x in terms of the distance. So this was speed and this was distance. Speed is equal to distance over time, or time is equal to distance over speed. And therefore we can use this formula. The total time is 44 minutes, but let's convert that to hours by dividing by 60, since our speeds are in kilometers per hour. And then d over s, so the first d over s is 17 over x, or sorry, x over 17. Distance is x. And the second value, of course, would be the next half, which is x over 5. So this is our algebra. This is what we have to solve. All right, so top and bottom by 5, top and bottom by 17, and this would give me 22x over 85 is equal to 44 over 60. Well, 22 goes into 44 exactly twice, and both of the denominators are divisible by 5, 12 and 17. So that means 34 is equal to 12x, so therefore x is 34 over 12. And that is approximately 2.8. So that's pretty much what they're asking. How far did Samia walk? She walks as she walks x, and that's 2.8. So therefore, number 4, the answer is C. The data has a median, Q2 is 40. First quartile, Q1 is 33. Third quartile, Q3 is 43. An outlier in the data set is a value that is more than 1.5 times the interquartile range below the first quartile Q1, or more than 1.5 times the interquartile range above the third quartile Q3, where the interquartile range is defined as Q3 minus Q1. So I'm happy that they gave that. How many outliers does this data set have? Okay, first, what is the value of Q3 minus Q1? Q3 is 43. Q1 they gave me is 33. So the value is 10. Then we have to figure out 1.5 times that. 1.5 times 10 is, of course, 15. So an outlier is either 15 below the Q1. So Q1 minus 15, or Q3 plus 15. All right. Well, Q1 is 33. That minus 15 would be 18. So any values below 18, just that one. Q3 plus 15, well, what is Q3? It's 43 plus 15, and that is 58. Are there any values above 58? And the answer is no. So it looks like there's only one outlier, and therefore the answer would be B. The word outliers reminded me of a book called Outliers by a famous author. Some of you may have heard of him. His name is Malcolm Gladwell. He's originally from the same place I am originally from, which is Ontario, Canada. And I have read his books, and he is definitely an excellent author. The circle having 0, 0, and 8, 6 as the endpoints of a diameter intersects the x-axis at a second point. What is the coordinate, x-coordinate of that point? All right, well, if you have a circle, let's just draw this. So we've got the coordinate plane, and then we have some circle in here that obviously has the origin. And they're saying there's a point 86 somewhere. So approximately here, let's say. And they are saying that there's a diameter that basically connects the origin to that point. Okay, well, we can draw a Pythagorean relationship where this is 8 and this is 6. And if you're in grade 12, you should know that's a 8, 6, 10 triangle. You can do it using Pythagoras, but by grade 12, you should be able to memorize that. So that means that this circle has a radius of 5. Diameter is 10. We can easily get the equation. Since that is the midpoint, that is going to be halfway of 8, which is 4. And then it'll be halfway of 6, which is 3. So the midpoint is 4, 3. So the equation is x minus 4 squared plus y minus 3 squared, and that would be 5 squared. So they're saying, what is the x-coordinate of the second point? The second point intersects the x-axis. So it's an x-intercept, set y to 0 to find that x-intercept. So that means x minus 4 squared is equal to, plus, I should say, 0 minus 3 squared is equal to 25. So that means x minus 4 squared is equal to 25 minus 9. So x minus 4 squared will be 16, and therefore x minus 4 is plus or minus 4. So that gives me values of 0 and 8. So 0 is already given, so the other value's got to be 8. Therefore, number 6, the answer is D. The functions sine x and cos x are periodic with at least period 2 pi. What is the least period of the function cos of sine x? I think we can graph this without using Desmos. Desmos.com is something that I really like. it allows you to graph. But of course, on the math contest, you're not going to be able to use that. So we can just make a little sketch here, and let's see what we get. All right, here we go. So the first thing is, let's just start with 0 and kind of go from there. When x is 0, sine of x we know is 0. So therefore it would be the cos of 0, which is 1. When x, let's try pi over 2, which is 90 degrees, right? Sine of x, sine of that would be 1, and then therefore the cos of 1, I'm not sure what it is, but it's usually, since now we're putting in a value of 1, not 1 degree, but be 1 radian, and that's approximately 57 degrees or so. So if you take the cos of 57 degrees, around 0.5, and a lot of you have memorized that cos graph, right? You know how it looks like. So if you're putting in about 57 degrees, this is 0, of course, and this is 180, this is 90. So 57 is about here, so if you went up, you'd get to here. If this is 1, this is about 0.5. It doesn't have to be exact. We're just getting an approximation. All right, let's keep going. So now let's try pi. Sine of pi is 0. Then the cos of 0 is 1. 3 pi over 2 is the next one, if we're kind of going in order. And the sine of x this time would be negative 1. And the cos of negative 1 in terms of radians, if we were to extend that and we have negative 1 here, again, it would go up to be the same, approximately 0.5 approximately. And then 2 pi, we have 0, and then again 1. So let's graph this now. So we have the following graph. When it's 0, it looks like it's 1. Pi over 2, pi, 3 pi over 2, 2 pi, about here. And then for pi, it goes back up to 1, and then here, and then for 2 pi, it goes back up to 1. So it's kind of like this. And obviously, as you can see, it repeats every interval that is of length pi. So the period is pi, and therefore number 7, the answer is B. The ratio of the short side of a certain rectangle to the long side is equal to the ratio of the long side to the diagonal. What is the square of the ratio of the short side to the long side? So here is our rectangle, and let's draw in the diagonal, and let's start labeling. So I'll just call it width, length, and diagonal. Keep it simple. So they told us that width over L is equal to L over D. That's what the question told me. And they want me to find W squared over L squared. Okay. Well, let's see what we can do. So from here, if I cross multiply, I get L squared is equal to W times D. Well, from Pythagoras, D squared is equal to W squared plus L squared. So therefore, D is the square root of W squared plus L squared. Substitute that in. Let's square both sides, get rid of that radical. And when I do, I get L to the power of 4, W squared plus L squared in brackets. Okay. Now let's expand, and that gives me L to the power of 4 is W to the power of 4 plus W squared L squared. Now I'm interested in this, and I think I can get that by dividing through by L to the power of 4, I think. So if I divide through by L to the power of 4, this becomes 1. This becomes W to the power of 4 over L to the power of 4. And this becomes W squared over L squared. Yeah, exactly what I thought. So I'm going to let this equal K. So that means this will be 1 is equal to K squared plus K. Great. So now I can solve this. This is just going to be a quadratic. Perfect. So k is going to be minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And therefore k is going to be root 5. I'm going to use the positive because we're talking about ratios. Ratios can't be negative. So root 5 minus 1 over 2. And k, of course, represented my w squared over l squared. All right, root 5 minus 1 over 2 is choice C for number 8. A circle has center minus 10, negative 4, and radius 13. Another circle has center 3, 9, and radius root 65. The line passing through the 2 points of intersection of the 2 circles has equation x plus y is c. What is c? Let's write the equations. So x plus 10 squared plus y plus 4 squared is equal to 13 squared. Then x minus 3 squared plus y minus 9 squared is equal to 65 because the radius squared. Okay, well, obviously the intersection of this would give you an equation. So I guess we just have to combine these. All right, let's expand them out. X squared plus 20x plus 100 plus y squared plus 8x plus 16, and that is 169. The next one, x squared minus 6x plus 9 plus y squared minus 18 y plus 81 is equal to 65. Okay, so I guess I can combine these. I can subtract them. If I do, I get 26x plus 91 plus 26y plus, or minus, I should get, minus 65 and 104. So 26x plus 26y is equal to 78. Divide through by 26, and I get x plus y is equal to 3. And there you go. That represents that x plus y is c, and therefore c is 3. So number 9, the answer is A. At Typico High School, 60% of the students like dancing and the rest dislike it. Of those who like dancing, 80% say that they like it, and the rest say that they dislike it. Of those who dislike dancing, 90% say that they dislike it, and the rest say that they like it. What fraction of the students who say they dislike dancing actually like it? Let's say there's 100 students. Make it easy for us. 60 like dancing. So 40 dislike. And then of the 60 that like it, dancing, 80% say that they like it. Apparently, liking and saying that you like it is two different things. Why? I have no idea. So 80% of 60 is 48. And that means the other 20%, which is 12, say that they dislike. And then of this part over here, these guys, 90% say that they dislike. So 90% would be 36 students. And then the other remaining 10%, which is 4 students, say that they like. So that completes the diagram. Now, what they want us to figure out is what fraction of the students who say they dislike dancing actually like it. So the ones who say they dislike are these guys. How many of these actually like? The only ones who like it are the ones that belong to that category, and that's 12. So 12 over 12 plus 36. And that is 12 over 48. Which is 1 over 4, and in terms of a percentage, that's 25%. So number 10, the answer is D.